MLB the Show tips back here. We're going to talk about some hitting tips for you guys, especially if you're using zone hitting. What's zone hitting? It's when you have this little circle that appears on the screen and you can move it around and you try to put the ball right in the middle of it. Now in this video we're going to talk about tracking pitches using zone. What you have here, sometimes you have a circle. This is called the wedge. That's what I've got selected. You can change that in your options menu. And one of the things you've got to take away at the very beginning of any game, in my opinion, is the high fastball, because that's what most user opponents will try to do to you. They'll throw a high fastball and then a breaking ball low. So I will almost always have my zone in the top third of the strike zone, whether it's a little inside, a little outside, maybe right down the middle, and I'm going to try to take away that high fastball every time. And that way also, you don't have to move to get to the high fastball, because sometimes that's the one you're going to be late on the most. And if you're on top of it from the get-go, you'll be fine. And we're going to talk about the breaking ball in a second, but there's a perfect example of hitting a home run because I was ready and on top of that fastball. And once I recognized it was a fastball, I click square for the power or X for the normal. That's mostly what I'm doing in this video. A lot of them are just big fly ball outs, but these are very deep fly balls. And if you're playing Diamond Dynasty with a legend, most of these are going to become home runs or deep doubles. So here's the breaking ball. So if I've got my reticle, my zone, if you want to call it that, up at the top, then I'm going to try to track it downwards. So if I can tell the pitch is breaking, you'll see the zone. I just drop it with the left joystick just a little down. In that case, that's a changeup. Some of these are changeups. They're not all curveballs. And so I just got to wait on it. So I see there's a little bit of dip in the pitch as it's coming to me, and then I just drop a little down. So I start still in the top of the zone, waiting for that fastball, and then when I don't see the fastball, I drop it down just a hair. And sometimes I'll nail it just like that, and it's off the wall. I think what's important too is that you've got to practice, right? You just got to practice. So these pitches now are in the lower third of the strike zone. So I'm starting at the top and I'm really dropping all the way down. And what you're going to notice is a lot of these are going to be fly balls, which means I'm getting too far under a lot of them. I need to square them up a little better. And if I get on top of it, I'll hit a ground ball. Sometimes it's a single. A lot of times they're just ground outs. So that's what you got to remember. But if you have a power hitter or just a really good hitter, and when you nail it, here are a bunch of home runs I did in Diamond Dynasty. That's Anthony Rizzo. That was a knuckleball pitcher, Phil Necro. And I was ready for the fastball, even though it was a knuckleball. I didn't have to move much. Here's Kenny Lofton. I was waiting inside, high and inside, and I dropped it down just a hair to the middle of the inside part of the plate. Boom, nailed it with Kenny Lofton, speedy guy. David Ortiz, that one I did not start at the top. I was looking low. Sometimes you just know the pitcher, your opponent's been throwing a certain part of the zone. So there I started in the top right part of the zone, and I've shifted inside out of the pitch with Pedroia. That was a great hit. Here's a perfect example. Top right of the zone. Boom. Ted Williams. I tracked that pitch from the top inside part of the zone all the way down as it moved down. It was a changeup or slider. Here I'm starting at the very bottom with Ryan Braun and just crushed it. That one I didn't do any tracking, but it was a pitcher tendency thing. There's another one I kind of was looking outside, low and outside, and nailed it with Cliff Floyd. So you got the idea. I hope this has helped. Let me know if you have any questions on Twitter. Always, the Twitter handle is right there at MLB the Show _tips. Follow us here for Diamond Dynasty, pitching, hitting, stealing, and the Gamboa knuckleball. Check out the video.